£43 billion, £43 billion, £120 million, £43 billion, £120 million. We all know high deficits, Britain, high deficits, high deficits. National debt ratio, Britain, £120 million. Economic stability. Today is the day, still rising in the year 2014. National debt ratio that envisaged our national debt ratio still rising. There are choices, there are choices, there are choices. Interest on the interest on the interest. Children, economy, country, economy. Protecting the vulnerable so that they can do their job. 4-year plan, decade of debt. 4-year plan. Today is the decade of debt. Decade of debt. Public services and welfare state. Debt ratio. Decade of debt. Public services and welfare state. Decade of debt. Today is the Britain protecting the vulnerable. Public services and welfare state. Decade of debt. Protecting the vulnerable. Public services and welfare state. Protecting the vulnerable. Decade of debt. Decade of debt. Public services and welfare state. Protecting the vulnerable. Public services and welfare state. Economy. 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 Country. Saddle our children. Interest on the interest on the interest. Children. Interest on the interest on the interest. Tackling this budget deficit. Interest on the interest on the interest. Children. Country. Children. Saddle our children. Country. Not a single penny of savings still rising in the year 2014. Decade of debt. Decade of debt. Decade of debt. Decade of debt.
After hours of waiting outside, no explanation was forthcoming. Police say Duggan, an alleged drug dealer and gang member, shot at them when they attempted to arrest him. But forensic evidence for the moment points to only police ammunition being used at the crime scene. The family left and the small crowds of patients exploded. 2 police cars were set on fire, the first material victims and the initial targets of locals' anger. Today the police apologised to the family for their handling of the situation. That apology comes too late for all those small businesses facing ruin and the scores of people who've lost everything as their homes burned over the following 3 days of rioting. Violence that might have been avoided with a more diplomatic approach. What started as a local protest mushroomed out of control as outsiders on social networks and mobile phones. As there was looting to be done, as overstretched police couldn't be everywhere at once. As word got around, robbery and rioting fled in other areas of the capital, as mainly young masked people cashed in on the chaos. So much for the pure criminal aspects, but many say other underlying causes of the riots are poor parenting, unemployment, poor job prospects, or stirring cups removing any support mechanisms, especially for the young, and poverty, denying a generation the electronic gadgets and phones. It has been persuaded
the police know how people got mobilised, so what I'm saying is no secret. They were using Twitter, BB, they were phoning each other, they were using every communication means possible. Why were people confronting the police if it was all about thievery? It wasn't all about thievery, but there was thievery going on in it, but it was about giving the police a taste of their own medicine. Some people were stealing to throw, they were looking for ammunition and stuff like that, because ammunition was in short supply. They were turning over recycling bins and stuff to try and get bottles, and when those bottles had been depleted, they would turn to the shops to take stuff. You saw what was on the news. You saw you standing off with police throwing rocks and bottles, lines of police charging forward, charging back, forward, back. 99% of them are bullies, and they don't respect the rights. Even when a person is wrong, they still have rights. They slap you up a bit, talk to you disrespectfully. There's no, so a lot of people hate the police, man. I've been in the back of one of those TSG vans. those new Mercedes silver ones, and I've had police officers stamp me out. The cowards, they know who they are. In West London, it happened. They really gave me a boshing. Heard them climbing over the seats to get to me, kicking me in my face, telling me, "Don't look at me, who are you?" Because I got a little bit, because I stood up for myself for a blatant disrespect. So I personally, firsthand, nobody can tell me I didn't experience this, because I experienced this. I know how mucky the police can get when they've been disrespected all day by young guys. They see them driving around in fancy cars. They're always looking for someone just to step out of line so they can release that frustration. They were very scared after the riots. I saw them walking around. They looked so tender and soft and nice. It was a joke. You look at the position that young black men are in now. We have black people. We have no communities. We don't have many businesses, strong businesses like a JS Sainsbury's or something. We got nothing, you know what I mean, in this country. We got nothing. We got nothing. We got nothing. We got nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
If you're a businessman and want to raise the profile of your company, then a large cash donation to the Conservative Party will secure you access to the Prime Minister, according to Tory Party co-treasurer Peter Cruddas.
100 grand is not Premier League. It's not bad. It's probably bottom of the Premier League. 200 grand, 250 is Premier League. In fact, some of our bigger donors have been for dinner, number 10 Downing Street, in the Prime Minister's private apartment with Samantha. Things will open up for you. It'll be awesome for your business. Yeah. You'll be well pleased because your guests will get photographed with David Cameron.
Hours after this secretly filmed footage was released, Cruddas resigned, but questions over corruption at the heart of British politics remain.
We know there's a problem in the USA, funding, in that people simply buy their way to the White House. And in result is there's very little real participation in politics. Now in this country, it's the same process. People buy their way to Downing Street.
The Cash for Access scandal has erupted only days after the government unveiled a budget which was labelled a millionaire's dream. Tax cuts for the rich were trumpeted, while millions of pensioners faced benefit freezes, amid a background of rising unemployment, which has left many wondering who exactly is the government ruling on behalf of.
Well, I think there'll be 4.5 million pensioners, small businesses across the country, families facing tax rises saying, why aren't we in the Premier League? Is it only the people with money and influence who get their hearing? That's the problem here. It looks to me as though David Cameron, George Osborne have been thinking they could be above the law, beyond reproach, just listening only to those people who can afford to pay.
Meanwhile, David Cameron has said he'll publish details of all the donors he's had dinner with in his Downing Street flat. And he promised a proper inquiry into donations to his Conservative Party.
What happened is completely unacceptable. This is not the way that we raise money in the Conservative Party. It shouldn't have happened. It's quite right that Peter Cruddas has resigned. I'll make sure there's a proper party inquiry to make sure this can't happen again.
With public confidence in politicians already at a very low ebb, this new scandal will further erode ordinary people's trust in politicians. And David Cameron has a lot of work to do to dispel the perception that his is government of millionaires governing on behalf of millionaires. Government of millionaires governing on behalf of millionaires. Government of millionaires governing on behalf of millionaires. Governing on behalf of millionaires. Governing on behalf of millionaires. Millionaires, 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 millionaires.
The vans arrived London without any advance publicity or fanfare, creating huge controversy. Impossible to ignore the handcuffs to intimidate. Go home, provocative. Racist van. Racist Go home was the message of the neo-Nazi far right to anybody non-white in the UK.
Go home was a phrase the neo-Nazis, the National Front, the BNP. Go back to where you came from, go back home, don't stay in this country.
Opinion polls suggested a majority here supportive of the campaign. Here illegally, then you should be deported. Be racist. Refugee associations pointed out that some of the countries' disproportionately high numbers of illegal overstayers, Australia and South Africa, are places where white immigrants come to live here. The government vans were nowhere to be seen. Targeted directly at places with very large South Asian or African communities. Campaigners to accuse the government of racial profiling. Legal action against the government to stop it extending the programme.
Home Office failed to consult with anybody. They didn't tell the local councils that they were doing it, they didn't tell the police they were doing it. What could have been some very tense situations.
It's the fulfilment of a pledge to the electorate. Being led away in handcuffs. Return home voluntarily. The immigration system, cut out abuse and see net migration drop to its lowest levels in nearly a decade. The rise of the anti-immigrant UK Independence Party has put pressure on the government, and going after foreigners may be popular with many voters. But opponents of this vehicle say it's become an embodiment of the views of the far right being expressed by government. UK Independence Party has put pressure on the government, and going after foreigners may be popular with many voters.
MH17 black boxes was decrypted in Britain after being handed over to Malaysian officials. Black pro-Russian rebels took control of the crash site. It is possible that shrapnel carved holes into the fuselage of flight MH17, driving the crew and passengers of oxygen. This is in addition to the damage the projectile itself caused. Without a crew to fly it, and the flight surface is compromised, the aircraft descends at a rapid pace. The airframe reaches its breaking point and ultimately 55 kilometers from the Russian border, leaving the 15th square.
over the Malaysia Airlines plane that crashed in eastern Ukraine after being shot down, killing 298 passengers on board. The Boeing 777 with the call name MH17 was heading from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur at an altitude of 33,000 feet when it lost contact on Thursday afternoon. Ukraine says the plane was shot down by pro-Russian separatists in the rebel-controlled area of the country near the Russian border. Russia and the separatists argue the aircraft was shot down by Ukrainian government forces. Both Russia and Ukraine have been at conflict and pointing a finger at each other. 9 Britons were among the 298 passengers, as well as 154 Dutch nationals, 27 Australians, and 34 Malaysians, including 15 crew members. Other passengers came from Germany, Belgium, and the Philippines. Are among those dead. The plane's black box flight recorder, which can give a bit more insight into exactly what happened, has reportedly been recovered. The tragedy has caused international outcry, and world leaders are demanding an international investigation. The Dutch Prime Minister has called the disaster deeply shocking, while the US government says they're horrified, and the Malaysian Prime Minister demands swift justice for those responsible.
A new Home Office report shows a shocking rise in religious and racial hate crimes in the UK.
Racial and religiously motivated hate crime accounted for around 75% of the increase in overall hate crime. A Home Office report showed that religious hate crime alone had increased 45%, taking the cases to 2,273.
We are living at the time where sort of Islamophobia and hatred towards Muslims had become a culture. Is no longer something that is only perpetrated by extreme right or a particular community.
Tell Mama, an organisation that monitors anti-Muslim activity, found that there was a 400% spike in religiously motivated hate crimes in the immediate aftermath of the murder of British Army soldier Lee Rigby by 2 black men. 40% of the attackers had links to far right-wing groups like the EDL and Britain First.
But after his murder, we saw a lot of people, particularly on the far right, essentially feeling as if all Muslims were responsible for what happened to drummer Lee Rigby, which is, of course, a kind of ridiculous notion.
But this isn't the only crime that has soared in the UK. According to the Office of National Statistics, the number of rape cases has hit more than 22,000, a 29% rise, reaching its highest ever levels.
More people are reporting it. There has always been this disease, this sort of social disease in this country. But now we are seeing more and more people are actually coming forward, reporting it. And the recent sort of issue with Jimmy Savile and others actually encourage more people to come forward.
More Britons are coming forward, reporting cases of both rape and religious hate crimes. But many rights groups think they are just the tip of the iceberg.
Are protected and advanced. But above all, this will require strong, determined and committed leadership. I'm very proud and very honoured to have been Prime Minister of this country for 6 years. I believe we've made great steps, with more people in work than ever before in our history, with reforms to welfare and education, increasing people's life chances, building a bigger and stronger society, keeping our promises to the poorest people in the world, and enabling those who love each other to get married whatever their their sexuality, but above all, restoring Britain's economic strength. And I'm grateful to everyone who's helped to make that happen. I've also always believed that we have to confront big decisions, not gut them. That is why we delivered the first coalition government in 70 years to bring our economy back to the brink. It's why we delivered a fair, legal and decisive referendum in Scotland. And it's why I made the pledge to renegotiate Britain's position in the European Union and to hold the referendum on our membership, and have carried those things out. I fought this campaign in the only way I know how, which is to say directly and passionately what I think and feel, head, heart and soul. I held nothing back. I was absolutely clear about my belief that Britain is stronger, safer, better off inside the European Union. And I made clear the referendum was about this and this alone, not the future of any single politician, including myself. But the British people have made very clear decisions to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction. I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try and be the captain that steers our country to its next destination. This is not a decision I've taken lightly, but I do believe in the national interest to have a period of stability and then leadership required. There is no need to slice table today. But in my a new Prime Minister in place delivering stability is really important, and I will continue to close the Minister with my cabinet for the next 3 months. The cabinet will meet on Monday. The Governor of England is making stable steps that the Bank and the Treasury need to reassure the market. You're also taking important legislation that we set on this speech. And I've spoken nationally this morning to advise everyone that I'm taking. A negotiation European will need to be under balance. And I think it's right this minister the decisions about when to pass the party and start all legal reforms leaving. I would attend the council week to explain succession and my the British and they need respect. Losing some stuff myself excluded make it. This we have very peaceful
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook. You control and own the information. Cambridge Analytica. You control and own the information. Cambridge Analytica.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook.
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 Ethical obligation.
No, Senator.
Ethical obligation.
No, Senator.
Ethical obligation.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
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 No, Senator. Facebook.
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 87 million. Affected 87 million. 87 million. Affected 87 million. Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook.
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 Cambridge Analytica.
Clearly a mistake to believe them.
Cambridge Analytica.
Clearly a mistake to believe them.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook.
Data was failed to be protected.
Clearly a mistake.
Data was failed to be protected.
Clearly a mistake.
Cambridge Analytica.
Clearly a mistake to believe them.
Cambridge Analytica.
Clearly a mistake to believe them.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook.
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 Facebook fraudulently obtained all of this information.
We took down the app.
Facebook fraudulently obtained all of this information.
We took down the app.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook. You control and own the information. Cambridge Analytica. You control and own the information. Cambridge Analytica.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator.
Not my data.
No, Senator. Facebook. Delete and stop using Facebook.
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 So what's happened to that twat David Cameron who called it off? Let's be fair.
I think you're referring to a former Prime Minister.
Yeah, but how comes he could scuttle off? He pulled all this on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He has no regrets.
Where is he? He's in Europe, in Nice, with his trotters up. Yeah? Where is the geezer?
And I still hope that Prime Minister Johnson will not like to go down in history as Mr. No.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, but this just isn't good enough. This whole process is now turning our country into a laughingstock.
It is with regret and surprise that I received the news that President Trump has cancelled his state visit. I've been looking forward to the visit. Our preparations were well underway. It was an opportunity, I think, to celebrate.
Hong Kongers in open revolt are accusing Beijing of breaking its promises and blocking its ears.
Today, as young people, school children from Australia to Iceland come together to protest about what they're calling the crisis of their lifetime, climate change, of course, and what they see is politicians' inability or unwillingness to do anything about it.
And you've got the cheap to come here, so the austerity's over, and it's all good now. We're going to leave the EU and everything's going to be great. It's just a fairy tale.
Fires have been raging in the Amazon rainforest. The vast majority has been set up by loggers and ranchers to clear land for cattle. They feel encouraged by President Bolsonaro's populist pro-agro
Rearrested this morning after gluing herself to a train.
The court is bound to conclude, therefore, that the decision to advise Her Majesty to prorogue Parliament was unlawful.
And it wasn't Boris and it wasn't Dominic Cummings, and beyond that, I am not telling you any more. But I would say this, no serious candidate.
Prince Andrew has
enough age to come back to full things again. 2013, after Ed Miliband, his brother David, for the Labour leadership, told the Telegraph
I am sure that the whole House will welcome the news this morning that the Metropolitan Police have arrested Julian Assange. Arrested for breach of bail after nearly 7 years in the Ecuadorian embassy. Despite the efforts of members on all sides, we have not so far been able to vote for a deal. So ahead of the Council, I wrote to President Tusk to seek a short extension to the Article 50 period to the 30th of June. Our society should continue to function in accordance with our values.